The majority of celebrity conspiracies are pretty boring. This guy cheated on this girl. This rapper's beef with this dude isn't real. Kourtney Kardashian's father is actually a giant human foot. Who cares? But every so often, a celebrity conspiracy theory pops up that leaves you so confused, you pull the kind of face Hill Dog would if you hand her a balloon animal Monica Lewinsky. So let's leave the gossip to Perez Hilton and instead focus on the 7 most fascinating celebrity conspiracies. Number 7. Marilyn Monroe. Conspiracies involving the government monitoring famously subversive individuals have been proven beyond doubt. But have they ever gone a step further and wiped one out? Of the many suspected cases of state-sponsored celebrity murder, the most compelling has to be that of Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe not only boned the president, but also had affairs with the president's brother, a mafia boss, Frank Sinatra, Marlon Brando, and several other movers and shakers in government, entertainment, and organized crime. Whew. This made her an incredibly powerful woman with a lot of inside knowledge. And when you combine this with the fact that many of her friends were known communists, and that she often got drunk and talkative, it's understandable why the CIA is suspected of silencing her by means of a staged overdose. Her official cause of death was listed as acute barbiturate poisoning, but during her autopsy, no traces of pills were found in her stomach, and detectives on the case believed a hidden lethal injection was to blame. At number 6, no 4chance? I don't give a dang if Taylor Swift is really dating Tom Hiddleston, nor whether her long-running beef with Kane is fake. I don't even care if it turns out she's actually a pretty reasonable person after a breakup. I just want to know if Taylor Swift is really a secret 4chan user. So what's the evidence for this? Well, these pictures of a woman who looks like Taylor Swift from 2009 were found to have the same background as one of her official photos. In November 2011, a user called Anon asked them to name their cat. They called it Meredith. Next day, meet Taylor's new cat, Meredith. Someone claiming to be one of the 50 most famous people on the planet once asked 4chan users for questions. And the quote, "Nothing quite like a freezing cold wintry beach," was posted on Twitter the same day as something similar was posted 4chan. Believable? I'm still not sure. A lot of evidence suggests the whole thing is shot to heck. But that won't stop me imagining Taylor Swift introducing Tom Hiddleston to Poo Poo Pee Pee Pepe. 5. The Fast and the Spurious. There are 2 majorly shocking things about the death of Fast and Furious actor Paul Walker. First off, he died in 2013. How the heck has it been 3 years already? But the second shocking part of the actor's tragic demise is the accusation that he was murdered by a charity. At the time of his passing, Paul Walker was working to raise funds for the victims of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. But speculation is abound that he discovered the charity organizing distribution of the funds was laundering dirty money and also shipping permanent birth control drugs into shipments of food and medicine intended for the relief effort. The conspiracy theory goes on to say that someone on behalf of the charity rigged the brakes of the Porsche Carrera GT in which Walker was riding in order to make them malfunction at a certain speed, kind of like Back to the Future. Except instead of traveling forward in time, you travel through the dashboard of a burning supercar. Ouch. Either way, we salute your dedication to hauling ass, Paul Walker. Number 4. Distraction tactics. If I turn up to your house, take a dump on your front lawn, shave your cat, and make out with your mother in front of you, chances are you won't even notice that I stole your wallet. That, in a nutshell, is what some people believe the government is actually doing whenever they need to cover up their goofs. By promoting the release of salacious celebrity gossip at just the right time, the government's various media mouthpieces are able to distract you and I from the scandals of their own. For example, Britney Spears getting divorced and shaving her head was promoted heavily to distract from the failings of the Bush administration, as this particular story broke just before a crucial midterm election. Similar accusations have been made about Miley Cyrus's gurning and twerking activities being used to cover up Barack Obama's mistakes. And shockingly, this theory may have some truth to it. Last year, a study by NYU Abu Dhabi social researcher Ki-Rung Kim focused on when celebrity gossip would trend in correlation to the release of political scandal. This study was conducted in her home country of South Korea, and she found a direct correlation, with Kim quoted as saying, "There is more celebrity news on days where there are political scandals. I think the results provide substantial support for the media conspiracy theory." At number 3, Michael Jackson's balls? No conspiracy theory list would be complete without dirty old MJ. But while his mind was certainly dirty and old, was his body actually that of a 12-year-old boy? Let's elaborate. It's well known that Michael Jackson had an extremely high-pitched voice, a voice which never seemed to break at any point during his life. So why might this be? Well, Dr. Elaine Branchereau, a French vascular surgery professor, claims that this was caused by a synthetic anti-male hormone drug called cyproterone, which Jackson took repeatedly before and during his teenage years. This substance is used to fight acne, but overuse is known to affect the growth of your body hair, and your larynx. It basically stops puberty in its tracks, leading to the conclusion that at aged 12, probably on the orders of his overbearing father, Michael Jackson was chemically castrated. Still doesn't explain why he owned a pet monkey and wanted to bang Macaulay Culkin, though. Number 2. Tom Cruise's auditions. In the years since Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes divorced, there have been many conspiracy theories flying around regarding exactly how they got together. But recently, one particular rumor has gained more credibility than the rest: that Katie Holmes had to audition for her part in Tom Cruise's life. Reportedly, many famous actresses were offered roles in an imaginary movie, only to then find out that they were actually trying out for Marriage to Tom. Lindsay Lohan, Jessica Alba, Jennifer Garner, and Kate Bosworth were all invited, but turned the offer down. Scarlett Johansson attended an interview, but left when she too realized the part wasn't real. But when Katie Holmes tried out, she was happy to oblige, having always wanted to marry the actor since she was a kid. So, after she passed the scrutiny of the Church of Scientology, Holmes and Cruise began dating, and eventually, after studying the religion to a sufficient degree, they were allowed to marry. And Katie Holmes accepted Tom Cruise's own special part for making babies. And at number 1, Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was a famous UK presenter, DJ, and entertainer who died in 2011. But since his death, he has been revealed as one of Britain's most prolific and horrific sex offenders, having molested children, mental patients, and even corpses over several decades. Incredibly, these allegations were made to both the police and in public during his lifetime, but sadly, his victims' claims were dismissed as fantasy. He was also exposed frequently by prominent British TV personalities and members of the press, including comedian Jerry Sadowitz and Sex Pistols singer Johnny Rotten, yet Jimmy Savile was allowed to present children's television. His most famous show was called Jim'll Fix It, and at the time his perverted nature was so well known by the general public that people sold t-shirts mocking his crimes printed with the slogan, "Jim'll F*** it." So, why was nothing ever done while this sick was still alive? Well, this picture might explain it, and this one of former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Jimmy Savile had a lot of powerful friends thanks to his supposed links to local gangsters and the IRA, as well as the significant charity work he'd undertaken for many years. I guess boning a corpse is considered altruistic now. Many of his biggest supporters also included members of the British Parliament, and the reason they were so happy to cover Savile's ass is because they were doing the exact same thing as him, with investigations into a huge political pedophile ring still underway in the UK. Jimmy Savile was without doubt the worst kind of predator. A smart one, because as a member of Mensa with an affable personality, he was even able to schmooze up the British royal family, and at one point was also named as Prince Harry's godfather. So now you can see why a monster like him was able to get away with such heinous crimes for so long. When your friends in high places are capable of influencing the Queen and the Prime Minister, you can't exactly escalate that complaint. Well, that's a depressing way to end our list, isn't it? Why not cleanse your palate of all these gross and gruesome tales with a look at our recent video on the 7 strangest political parties? It's 100% pedophile free, or your money back.